we were very nervous, very scared. It took a few weeks, a few months. Now we can just walk in and it's easy. I remember I actually grew this like really long beard, like because I just wanted to look older and I wanted to have this confidence. Like I have photos. Like I had a super long beard.
Thanks for tuning in for watching. I'm sitting here with Judson and Griffin, active mobile home investors. Thanks so much for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us, John.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Awesome. This is great. I want to ask you, clearly you both are like working together as a team. How have you found working together as a team?
I think it's super helpful. I think we both have our strengths. Judson's a lot better on the phone, making offers, stuff like that. I feel like I'm a tad bit more organized in a way, so like I'll take care of more like the books and like
paperwork
for the homes and stuff. So yeah, I think we both have our strengths and we just play off that.
Does one of you handle the buying side or one handle the selling side, or do you both attack it in different directions? And
yeah, I would say I handle a little bit more of the buying side and he handles a little bit more of the selling side.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And if you're doing it together, you can sort of like challenge one another, like I'm going to get so many houses that you can't handle it. And then the other one's like, I'm going to sell them too quick. You can't bring it, like try. I don't know if that's how it works, but that's how I would like to see it work.
Cool.
How long have you both been investing in mobile homes?
We started January of 2018, so I guess almost a year and a half.
Whoa. Did you, that time flies.
Yeah.
Did you have any real estate experience prior to that?
Nothing. We started, yeah.
What was one of your easiest deals that you had to do, and what made it so easy?
I think our easiest deal was in this one park that we actually have most of our homes in currently. I think we got it for $1,500.
No, 1,000.
1,000. It was 1,000, and it needed a little bit of work. Nothing crazy, like screen repair, just cosmetic stuff.
The carpets were dirty.
We didn't touch it. So we're in 1,000. We just sold it with a repair addendum and put like 3 or 4 things on it, like clean the carpets, fix the screen. I forget what else we put on there. It was a while ago.
Maybe pressure wash the outside, I think we had said.
Yeah,
maybe.
And we sold it for, was it $1,500 down?
$1,500 down.
And $300 a month for 48 months.
In like a week. Or no, we sold it, I think we did the whole thing in like a week, yeah.
It was very quick, yeah.
Yeah, we got really lucky. The first person that walked through the home wanted to buy it. And like something about this park in particular, it's really like everyone in that area, it seems like wants to live in that park. Like it's a nice park for the area. So if they do have to move in and do a little bit of work, they don't really care.
Wow. But you still,
that's to me.
Do you do a background check before or after the park does, or do you not do one at all in this community? Or
in that community, I don't think we did a background check on her.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
And to this day, she's okay.
She's been one of our best.
She's been the best.
She's on Cozy. She set up auto drafts. I mean, it just comes through,
Nice.
So it's perfect.
What would make you do a cash deal? Like, do you go into the deal knowing, hey, I'm going to sell this one particularly for cash?
Well, I wouldn't say that we know, like, going in for sure we're going to sell it cash, but we definitely are, like, thinking, like, probably cash, and then, like, if things go a little bit south, then we'll just sell on payments. The 2 really good cash deals, well, one of them we're selling tomorrow, so I don't want to say we've done it yet, but we knew pretty much going in that we were going to sell it cash. Like that was
what was different from that one than a different one that you'd hold?
The area and the price that we got it for, and like the amount of capital that we have at the time.
Okay, so the area was just a better area to sell for cash, and then the money that you had into it, you had too much money into it, or not a very hard?
No. Like, like just a little bit into it, knowing like we had some room.
And then anything bad? Did you mention one other thing? Was the park negative, or did the park not want you there in the first place, or anything like that? Or
Well, one was in a senior park, so we were. I wasn't really sure what we could sell it for on payments. We did test the market a little bit. I'm sure we could have sold it for more, but at the time, we kind of needed the cash.
good for okay, so you sold it for cash, and that's a good point. Like when you needed the cash. Most of us, when we get started investing, we're not backed by some like huge pockets, so we have to juggle. You know, which properties are we going to take for payments versus selling for cash? We need more cash to do more deals. What's one thing that you were not prepared for when mobile home investing? Something that completely caught you by surprise, or that you weren't expecting, or in a good way or a bad way, maybe.
I think for me, it's just all that driving. I mean, when we started out, like I was filling up my truck like twice a week. Like we were just driving everywhere, just chasing it. So I think that for me is just tons of driving.
For me, I would say just dealing with people. Like I don't really have a ton of experience like just dealing with so many people so regularly. I mean, like just between tenant buyers, handymen, park managers, like sometimes I do get a little bit overwhelmed just because I'm not much of a people person anyways. Like I'm not really an extrovert or anything like that. So I wasn't really prepared for that.
Or how have you both changed, either for the good or the bad? Like, what has mobile home investing taught you, besides the money that you've received?
So yeah, it's definitely like helped me a lot with like kind of, I don't know, I feel like every single day since we've started, I'm kind of getting out of my comfort zone with going to like talking to park managers. It's not really like a sales job, but it is kind of like you're in sales because you're gonna have to go in there, present yourself, almost kind of sell yourself to them in a way. So it just pushes me out of my comfort zone a lot. And also making offers. I had zero experience negotiating with people, handymen, sellers, even buyers. It's kind of like, it's almost like we're constantly negotiating with people if you think about it, because between handymen, sellers, and buyers and park managers, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like I've grown as a person in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I think I can speak for the both of us when I say I think it's challenged us in being more patient and dealing with hard situations. Because sometimes if you get a home back, or if a tenant buyer isn't paying, or they have like a situation, sometimes it feels like your world is crashing down, I guess. Because I don't know, for us, we kind of react quickly. So it's kind of taught us just to kind of sit back, look at the situation, breathe, and just kind of figure it out.
As I'm editing this video, I wanted to pause because I realized just how special and rare this video is, and what a good teaching tool that it can be. As mobile home investors, as active investors, this business changes us. Real estate investing, we get thicker skin. We're dealing with people. It's a crash course in people. And there's typically a couple different ways that we learn, but most importantly, the two biggest ones that I know of are we either learned by doing it ourselves, we learn a lesson, and when we get burned by something. We have a success, and that's good, or we get burned by something. And that burning that we get, it's not a physical scar, but it's an emotional scar of somebody taking advantage of us and hurting our pride, or damaging our wallet, or stealing from us, or wasting our time, or giving us headache. And then the next time that we are in that experience, we have a procedure in place, hopefully, so that it doesn't happen again. And that's called trial and error, obviously. And then also we learn by having listening to other people's stories, having mentors that can guide us, or just listening to these videos and different podcasts, and really having empathy. All those things that these investors are talking about on different videos, and this one included, Justin and Griffin are putting aside their ego and really opening up their feelings, their emotions, and saying that, it stinks, partly. Like every day, it feels like we're negotiating with people. It feels like there's ups and downs in this business. There's a roller coaster. When something happens and somebody doesn't pay, it's like the whole world stops, and now we have to go backwards. We have to focus on something we thought was done with, and what are the options, and I don't know what to deal, all the different possibilities. And especially if you're new in this business, it's like, well, what could happen? The end of the world, or nothing that bad, after so long in this business, you kind of, this business gets predictable. And that's something that I've learned, that after so long, it's not so much of a roller coaster ride. You have procedures in place for talking to sellers, for finding out which homes you're looking at, to negotiating, to making offers, to following up, to closing, to working with handymen and vetting those handy people, and then screening buyers, working with folks, selling them, managing them. Even on this video, you heard that Judson and Griffin, when they allowed somebody to come into their property, they did not do any sort of background check. They just let the park do one. And I'm very guilty of that myself in the beginning. And of course, this was a story that they were talking about before, but it's just so common that we know the procedure, we have a procedure in place, but we don't do it. We take a shortcut, or we feel good about something, or we follow our heart too often instead of being logical. I know a lot of people, we know we should go the speed limit, but we speed, or we know we should stop at a stop sign and we don't. Basic stuff, and we take shortcuts, and it's those shortcuts that allow you to be burned, that allow you to, that allow holes in your business for you to be burned. So as you're watching these videos, try to have, hey buddy, my dog joined me, I don't know if you could see. Try to have empathy and put yourself in the place of Judson and Griffin, and just imagine being taken advantage of. And that can happen to you, as wise and as clear and as focused as you think that you're being on that day. Other things can be going on, and someone can be taking advantage of you, or just not living up to their word, which is something that people definitely do. So I just wanted to mention that. This little break took probably longer than I thought. So let's go back to the video.
What's one lesson that you've learned working with the tenant buyers, the people that are buying our properties on payments?
I would say, like, when we first started, like, I just believed everything that they said. Like, I was just so naive. Even though you told me not to, John, I still just, like, I just believed, like, they're just another human being. Like, why would they lie to me,
Yeah.
But, like, I just believed everything that they said, and it was so stupid of me. But, yeah, that's just, you should not do that.
That is not stupid. That is not stupid of Judson, and it's not stupid of you either. If you've ever trusted somebody and they've let you down, that's very, 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 very human. Whether it's the first chance trusting somebody or the fifth chance, that can happen to all of us. It stinks that this business jades you in some way. At least at the moment, it stinks. But going through that process where it stinks, I think that's what gives you the thicker skin. That's what gives you the perspective to know to be relaxed, or to be calm when certain things are happening, or to know what the worst scenario of a certain situation might be, or to know what procedures to have in place. Even if you have them in front of you, to keep pushing yourself, to keep doing those procedures, because when you don't follow procedures, that's when accidents happen or mistakes happen. Or even if you're following procedures, mistakes happen. I don't know for how long, but for many years when I first got started investing, my logical brain, or logical side of my brain, and my heart or emotions were at odds a little bit. An example of this is when I was trying to fill a home, trying to put a tenant buyer into a property, and I had more of a risky person versus more of a non-risky person, somebody that didn't have a place to live now, but I felt bad for them. They didn't have income, they didn't really have a place to live, and I felt bad for them or their kids, and I wanted to give them an opportunity, and I felt guilty. I did have this home, I could help them, and I guilted myself, and for a long time I followed my heart. And I didn't go with the more safer option, the option that you should have gone with. I don't know why, logically. And I'm not a dumb person. I think a lot of people do this. We don't go with the safer bet always. We go with our heart. And then that's when we get burned, and we learn a lesson, and we shouldn't let it get us down or keep us down. Whatever's happened in the past, learn from that, and then let's pick ourselves up and move forward. That's so important. So I just wanted to say all that. Now let's head back to the video. What's one lesson that you learned with working with handymen?
For me, I would say never pay any money until the job is completed. Yeah, and when you're kind of inexperienced, it's really easy to just like kind of, if they say like I'm demanding this much up front, to just be like, well, he can get the job done. I need to get it fast, so like I'm just gonna give him the money. You know what I mean?
Of course, like they're the authority.
Yeah, but now that I've been burned, and especially like from my conversations with you and stuff, it's like it's easier to kind of like stand up for myself and be like, well, I'll just find somebody else if he can't play ball our way.
Yeah, I think it's been huge for us as well, just to find people that we trust in the area. So like in like 2 or 3 areas, we have handymen that we trust and use, more times than other people we don't. But because we've had experiences again where we've been burned. I remember when we first started out, this one guy was working for us, and he gave me a price, and we agreed on it. And I took one of the items off his list, because I didn't want to do it anymore. He found something else that he wanted to do and didn't tell me about it, and then still charged us for it. And it was just, I don't know. It's nice to have people you trust, and they trust you as well, and you have a good working relationship.
But yeah, what's one thing that surprised you or that you learned about with sellers?
I would say just like you've said, John, just like really like listening to their problems, building a lot of rapport when you're on the appointment to kind of help you later on when you make the offer. That has helped me a lot. That's something I feel like took me a while to learn, is really just building a lot of rapport when you're on the appointment with them, so that when you make the offers later, it's just a lot less nerve-wracking.
I think we've also... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I think we've also had some experience where you need to go into the appointments educated. We've had some circumstances where they are very rushed to sell. Say they're about to get evicted or something, or they don't actually have a title. You have to make sure and ask, like, do you have the title? Can I see it? Because like I think this lady, it was like around Christmas time.
Oh yeah. She
didn't even have the title to the home, and she was like trying to get cash today. And it's like, I need to see the title first. Like, just going in educated and making sure you know exactly what to do and how to do it.
What's one lesson that you've learned dealing with park managers? Don't trust them? Just kidding.
No.
I think you just always, like you were just saying, you always have to follow up. I feel like, sometimes you'll go in there 1 month and they'll be like, oh yeah, like here's, or like I'll give them my card and say, call me if there's any leads, and the next month will go by and we don't hear from them, and it's like, I go back in and they're like, oh yeah, I actually just sold this one to this other investor. Well, you just gotta keep following up, keep showing up.
And John, it's kind of like you say, like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Right. So like I sometimes like I feel like I'm just like wasting time sometimes, just like going back to a park that maybe I haven't been to in like 2 or 3 months, and they weren't really that stoked to see me last time I was in there. But like I just kind of tell myself that and just go back, and we've definitely we've gone to parks before, and they just, maybe they're having a bad day, or you just never really know what's going on, and they're just not very receptive. But you go back a couple months later and they've got like 4 or 5 vacant homes, like they definitely want to talk to you. So
I love that you both have just stepped up. I mean, even what you just said about having to push yourself, like you were feeling Yeah, you have all these like well, not I don't know if you have all these negative thoughts going through your head. I feel like I have a bunch of negative thoughts like always going through my head, and we have to like quiet those down and actually do work and like be the boss of ourselves and the worker and the person that's going to outsource things and delegate things and learn a whole bunch of new stuff and then push through our fears. Thank you so much for both being here. I know you have more mobile homes to go look at. Keep me posted. Anything you need, I'm always here. But thank you again so much for coming on today's video and opening up your business and just being, so just open and candid about like the good and the bad in your businesses. You have a long future ahead of you, and I hope to know you guys for a long time. So anything you need, I'm here. But thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
And thank you for putting together such a good like coaching program, John. Like you were literally our like our graduation gift.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that makes
so. And it's been just like, I mean, it's paid off a lot. Like, I mean, just the life lessons we've learned and everything. So
I'm glad to hear that. Well, those life lessons probably came with a little bit of pain, so I'm not glad to hear that. But, but moving forward, and none of this would have been, if it wasn't for both of you. So I mean, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for both of you. But thank you for saying that. That means way more than you know. So, but I'll be here. We'll talk soon. So, have a good rest of the day.
All right,
Thanks, John.
you too,
You
John.
too.